Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media, and normally I do a separate video when we've watched a show, but actually we just watched NXT No Mercy and it was fine. I mean, I'm not down on it, but it didn't feel like it warranted a separate video. So I've actually put those folders into this video so you can skip to those or you can skip past those. It's really up to you. And talking of skipping past things, we're going to start with some graphic pictures, right? Not naughty pictures, unfortunately. Not today. But this is Jade Cargill on Instagram showing close-up images of her gruesome cut. Obviously, she got thrown into the ring steps on Smackdown, busted her head open, and we've got the images. So if you want to skip forwards, you can skip forward. I personally don't think these are that bad, but there are people out there that do. This kind of thing doesn't bother me, so that's probably why I don't think they're that bad, but I've given you chance. Yeah, so there we go. Boom. So there is the wound, and you can see it's definitely going to need stitches, and you can see that it's really big as well. So I find these pictures to be really interesting because I think they give you a newfound appreciation of kind of what wrestlers go through. I mean, can you imagine hitting those ring steps and doing that to yourself? I mean, can you imagine how much that would hurt? Can you imagine the pain? Can you also imagine how lucky she is that that is not a little bit lower? Because imagine if her eye, I mean, I don't know if that was the corner of some ring steps, but imagine if that was her eye instead. I mean, it doesn't really bear thinking about, to be honest. So I don't know. I look at that. Part of me thinks she's a bit lucky actually to get away with just that rather than something much, much worse. Obviously, though, still bad, still horrific, still wishing her a very, very speedy recovery. And I know a lot of people have seen that and said Nia needs to be fired. She threw Jade into the ring steps without giving her a chance to protect herself. I mean, I have not done a frame-by-frame breakdown. Even if I had, I don't think it was done intentionally, right? I don't believe that. I don't believe it was like an intentional thing. So, yeah, whether she is going to face any repercussions or not, I'm not sure. I'm certainly not calling for anything. But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a words at least backstage, because that's the kind of thing I think that should be investigated. You know, what did go wrong? Did she not have time to protect herself? And if she didn't, then what lessons can we take from that? So, yeah, I know a lot of people online feeling very passionate about that. I personally am just wishing Jade a very speedy recovery. Okay, Supershow Japan. So these are just live events. We haven't really got any opportunity to watch these. They're not going to be on Peacock. They're not going to be shown on YouTube or anything like that. There might be some fans that record them with their phones and put them up online, like little clips, fan clips and whatnot. Sometimes you even get fans recording the whole show and putting that on YouTube, but there's no guarantees of that. So I don't know that this is really anything we're going to be able to sit down and watch, and certainly not be able to do a watch along for. But it does look very interesting. I mean, first of all, going to Japan and doing a show in Japan is interesting, but look at some of these matches, like Seth against CM Punk, or my personal favorite, Julia versus Io versus Rhea. Amazing. Down here, look, we got Jay and Shinsuke taking on the Vision. And then you can see the others on the card. LA Knight, Bayley, Raquel, Roxanne, Asuka, Kairi, AJ, Judgment Day, New Day. The next day, we've then got, I think, the same people, but just in slightly different matches. So here we got CM Punk, Jay, and Shinsuke against the 3 male members of the Vision. Then we got Kairi. She's taking on Julia. And then we've got Io and Rhea taking on Roxanne and Raquel. So, yes, you know, I mean, honestly, it looks good. I don't think anyone from our community is going to be going, but if you are, then have a fantastic time. I would love to do a watch-along for it, but as we said, I don't think that footage is going to really see the light of day, unfortunately. And if it is, it's probably just going to be some, like, fan footage. Right, let's move on, shall we? We've already spoke about Jade and what happened with her, but obviously the big talking point is that botched pin. Now, I've got quite a bit to say on this. I want to try and get through it as quick as I can. I do feel quite passionate on this, believe it or not. Sometimes there's things we talk about that I'm just not really that bothered by. Sometimes there's things I talk about that I really do have an opinion on. This is one I have an opinion on, right? But again, if you feel different to me, that is fine. Like, to each their own. All I'm going to do is just kind of tell you what's happened and just maybe explain why I think what I think, right? So basically, the botched pin. So you might remember Nia was pinned, referee counted 1, 2, and then moved the hand out the way without counting the 3. Nia didn't get her shoulder up. The referee should have counted the 3, but she basically refused. And the reason why is because this, of course, was not meant to be the end of the match. Okay? So this has been removed from the video. If you go to WWE's YouTube channel, you can't see this moment. It's been taken out, and probably rightfully so, right? Because obviously it's not a proud moment for pro wrestling, so probably rightfully so it was removed. Not got an issue with that. But I do want to bring some clarity, because there's a lot of people that I think are a bit confused about what the rule was or is, and I was confused actually. I've actually learnt something today, and we'll get to that. But this is Vince Russo. He used to be a writer for WWE, and he's just letting us know what it was back in the day. That's kind of like Attitude Era. He said, I don't know how it is today, but Vince McMahon would have told the ref, even if Tiffany is meant to win, go over, if Nia's shoulders are not down, then you're not supposed to count. And you do see that today, actually. There's quite a few times where before the ref counts, he checks the shoulders. And I've seen it a few times where they actually don't even count. They won't even count because the shoulders aren't down. And so that is something I've still seen fairly recently. So that part still seems to be true, and we still seem to be doing that. You've got to have your shoulders down for the ref to start counting, right? If the shoulder is down, but the person is supposed to kick out and doesn't, the referee is supposed to count 1, 2, 3. So if the shoulders are down, the ref counts, and they will count the 3, even if that is not the finish of the match. It is now, right? It's become the finish of the match. The heat is never going to be on the referee in that case. Okay, so this is how it was. And my understanding was that this is still how it is, but it turns out that is not the case anymore. There has been a change here, and that brings me to what Fightful have said. So Fightful Select haven't really spoken much on this. Basically, everything here is everything they have said. So Sean Rossap, Fightful Select, doing a great job. This is what they said. The pin count botch was a subject of conversation backstage at SmackDown. I'm sure it was. The pinfalls used to be counted as a shoot. So that means if your shoulders are down, we're counting. If they're up, we're not counting. Like, we are doing whatever we need to do. But it's not been that way for quite some time, which I did not know. So that was a very interesting development to find out earlier today, or earlier on Saturday, that has changed at some point. Now, I don't know when that changed. I mean, part of me thinks maybe when Triple H came in, because Vince used to run with this, right? So it would make sense that when Vince goes and Triple H has took over, maybe he has changed it, right? I could see that being when this changed. So we could be talking a good few years now, actually. I mean, Triple H has been in charge since, 2022? We could be talking like 3 years ago this changed. So, yeah, for me, that was something I found out today, and I was surprised by. So, but for me, I'm very much here. This is what I'm saying. I'm very passionate. Like, that is what I believe in. I believe if your shoulders are down, you count. And if that means we have to change plans, we have to change plans. It's the wrestler's responsibility to either kick out or to interrupt if they're meant to interrupt. There's a lot of people that are blaming Nia for this botch, but I don't know that Nia was meant to kick out. It could be that Jade was meant to grab the ref's leg and pull the ref out the ring. And so it could actually be Jade's fault. But of course, Jade had her head busted open, so she wasn't thinking straight. She certainly wasn't worrying about breaking up a pin. She was probably worrying about her blooming scalp kind of falling off and all of that, you know? She was like holding her head together. So I don't know. Look, it's one of those where, for me, the ref should have just counted the 3. We ended the match where, Tiffany would have got the pin. I think we only did a prettiest moonsault after. So it's not like we missed out on much. Plus, Tiffany was going to win the match anyway. We were pretty close to the end of the match anyway. I mean, as botches go, if we'd have ended the match a little bit early, wouldn't have been the biggest problem in the world. So I really think the ref should have counted the 3. I'm not blaming the ref herself. I'm not blaming her, because clearly this is the new rule now, right? So I'm not blaming her, But I'm just saying, for me, the ref should always be counting the 3 if the shoulders are down. And if we end up going down some roads we're not meant to go down, I personally am okay with that, right? I don't have an issue with that. That's how it used to be. But believe it or not, the very first match we watch on NXT No Mercy, we have another pin issue. There's another issue, right? And so this one was quite surprising because it felt quite early in the match. It didn't feel like this was the end of the match. And so I watched it, obviously, and the ref counts 3. This time he doesn't pull his hand away and not count the 3. He counts the 3. And what I said during our watch long was, that's interesting. He just counted the 3 on this one. This doesn't feel like the end of the match, but the 3 was just counted. I could hear 3 audible counts. I could hear 3 noises. There were people in the chat saying, no, you're wrong. He didn't count the 3. I've got the videos to show people because, well, I don't want people thinking that I'm lying during the watch-alongs, right? Or that I'd lost my mind and made a mistake. Like, I knew what I had heard. I had heard 3 counts, right? So this is the footage. And so here's Javon pinning Josh Briggs. We don't believe this is meant to be the finish, right? Isn't that crazy that the very next match after what went down on SmackDown, we have another example of a pin that's not gone quite right here. So, I mean, the ref's counting, and when I hear that third sound, it doesn't look like Josh Briggs has kicked out. I mean, look, you could hear that third sound. His shoulders are still down. He's kicking out now, but his shoulders are still down. To me, the match should end there. I mean, Javon was meant to win anyway, but just not at this point. But yeah, I think wrestlers have actually got a problem with kicking out now. I think wrestlers are leaving it way too close. Way too close. But I was really encouraged because I was really pleased to see the ref count in the 3 and not do 1, 2, and not count the 3, right? Again, I've just got that third count because I do agree the third audible noise is quieter, right? But I've got that separated here. You can hear that thirds. So, we're going crazy now. We're spamming it. So, yeah, you know, that one to me was unbelievable that not only did we have an issue at the end of SmackDown, we then had an issue in the first match on NXT No Mercy. I mean, to me, it just comes back to have the referees count the 3. If the wrestler doesn't kick out, they're going to have to face and deal with it in the back, right? And if that was the situation, wrestlers would soon learn to kick out, right? Wrestlers would soon make sure that they didn't botch and that there weren't issues. So I do find that by maybe having the referees not counting 3, maybe the wrestlers have got into a mental bad habit of thinking, it's okay. Like, I can leave this really close because the ref's not going to count the 3 anyway. And maybe we're actually training the wrestlers to kind of, I don't know, get a little bit too complacent. That's kind of how it's starting to feel. So, I don't know. I think people are going to be keeping an eye out now when it comes to pins and stuff like that. I think people are going to be listening out to see, is the hand being swiped away? Are the referees counting? I mean, honestly, I'd have no hesitation whatsoever. Monday morning, I'd be having a meeting with all the refs, all the wrestlers, and I'd be letting them know, the referees, count the 3. It is your responsibility to either kick out or interfere if you are meant to. And if a match ends early or the wrong result happens, it's the wrestlers that are going to be the ones that are in trouble, right? So there we go. That's my opinion on it. That's my take on it. That's the latest on it. We still don't know what was meant to happen in the match at the end of SmackDown, but either way, you know, that's the latest on it. Okay, with that being said, let's go NXT because we do have quite a bit extra to go through in this video. So here we've got Lainey Reed out of NXT No Mercy. She was meant to be facing Sol Ruca, but she was out. She picked up an injury during training. We don't know what that injury was. It was never actually revealed, although we did get a bit of an update later on, I think after NXT actually. So she was out, unfortunately. So Las Vegas, Matt, thank you. Mitchell, thank you. They accidentally put Samantha Irvin on the graphic. How mental is that? So it says Kelly Kincaid, but someone's grabbed a picture of Samantha Irvin. Why would you do that? I have no idea how you make that mistake. I mean, there are botches going on in this company that are really hard to fathom. And this is absolutely one of them. Like, how do you include the wrong person? It's crazy. Crazy. So Samantha Irvin accidentally featured on the broadcast team graphic for NXT No Mercy tonight. She didn't show up or anything. It's not like a spoiler she returned. They just legit got the wrong person, right? And I do have it a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's in this folder, just so you can see it absolutely is Samantha Irvin, right? So there we go. Okay, so our first match was that Josh Briggs, Javon Evans match. Javon managing to get the victory. I think the match was pretty good. It didn't blow my mind. I think we know what Javon can do. I think he kind of did more of that. I can't say it was better than the Sami match. In fact, I definitely don't think it was. But it was a perfectly acceptable opener. Although, again, you can see questionable pin once again rearing its ugly head right in that match. Then we went to our next match. This was meant to be Lainey Reed against Sol Ruca. It turned out that Jaida Parker came out and took Sol Ruca's place. I think people were kind of hoping it might be someone else, maybe someone from the main roster. But this was Jaida. Jaida there, look, getting Sol snatched, which is great. So Sol Snatcher there by Sol Ruca, put in Jaida Parker away, and it meant that Sol Ruca retained her Speed Championship. Backstage, we had Dark State confronting, there's Kelly Kincaid. We had Dark State confronting Joe Hendry, basically said, you're with us or you're against us. And that gave Joe Hendry something to think about. Don't quite know where he's going and what he's thinking and what he's planning, but it did give him some food for thought. Then we went to our next match, our third match. This was the weaponized steel cage match. You can see Blake Monroe animations on the bins with some pink on there as well. There was Jordynne Grace. She was wearing all white. Kind of made it feel like she was going to get busted open and maybe blood would be all over her gear. I actually don't think she did, right? But normally when someone's wearing all white, it means that they're going to get busted, and obviously that's better for showing the blood off, right? What Blake Monroe came down in was like Dudley Boys kind of inspired gear. I don't know if this was a tribute to the Dudleys or if she was just wearing camo ready for war, but either way it was really good. This was an early spot in the match as well, a Boston Crab with Jordynne Grace sitting on a chair as she had it in and applied. Lots of weapons getting used, but there was one moment where there was like a hairdryer that was used to tie Jordynne against the ropes. And then Blake Monroe went and got these scissors. And I was worried at this point. I was thinking we were going to go for some Jon Moxley-like moments, but like where she was going to stab her with them, but she didn't. She started cutting Jordynne Grace's hair, which was crazy. I did not expect that. I didn't expect that, but that just fired Jordynne up even more. We then had what I thought was going to be thumbtacks introduced, but they turned out to be diamonds. Clearly not real diamonds, although TKO could probably afford those. Yeah, they had those all on the ring, and we saw them getting slammed into those. The match eventually ends maybe a little bit underwhelming, right? They kind of did an air raid off the top, through the table, and they had been higher. They kind of teased something quite spectacular, and then they ended up kind of climbing back down and doing something a bit smaller. So yeah, I don't know, it was good, it was really enjoyable, easily the best match up until this point, maybe the best match on the show, but I don't know, I think there was a few that later on that did quite well as well. Either way, Jordynne Grace picked up the victory. Right, then we went to our next folder, which is down here. So then we had an announcement. AVA made an announcement. So breaking news, NXT and TNA Invasion is coming on Tuesday, October 7th. NXT and TNA stars are going to compete in men's and women's Survivor Series matches. So it's going to be NXT versus TNA in a men's Survivor Series match and a women's Survivor Series match. Then we all got confused. I got confused. Wrestle Talk got confused, right? Basically, she said, we're going to do Dark State against the Hardys. It's going to be the NXT Tag Champs against the TNA Tag Champs. And then she started talking about Oba against Trick and how we're not going to have outside interference. And it kind of felt like she was saying we were going to do Oba versus Trick as well. That isn't what she was saying. She was basically saying, we did that match the other week. There was an invasion. Loads of people got involved. We're not going to do that. Like, I've spoken to Santino Marella. Everyone is banned from ringside. This is just going to be Dark State versus Hardys. Title versus title. We will have a winner. There won't be outside interference like the other day when we had Oba versus Trixo. I do want to give a shout out to David Barlow. I know that he mentioned earlier about the Samantha Irvin graphic. I know there was people shouting out that we'd made a mistake with this as well, and that we weren't doing Oba versus Trick again. So yeah, a bit of confusion. Honestly, I do think they could have communicated that a little bit clearer, but it looks like that's what we're getting on October 7th. And you'll be interested to learn that that is the same date as an AEW show. So AEW are going to be on Tuesday, October 7th, rather than Wednesday, October 8th. And so this is why we think NXT and WWE are going for a really, really big show. They're going really big. NXT, TNA, Invasion. It's not a PLE on a Saturday, even though it probably should be. It's just a normal NXT Tuesday show. They're doing it so they don't lose in the ratings to AEW. So there we go. Very good. Okay, backstage we saw Lainey. She was obviously injured, and Lola Vice confronted her, and these two had some words. And I think this is interesting because later we would see someone attack Lola in her match. I think they've planted the seed that that person is Lainey Reed. I think this moment right here kind of shows why Lainey would attack Lola Vice, right? So I don't know if it was. The person that does attack Lola doesn't reveal themselves, but the seeds have definitely been planted that it was Lainey Reed. There's the Invasion logo, same as before, but obviously this is the NXT Invasion, Tuesday, October 7th, CW Network, of course. We will be covering that. Ethan Page had an okay match. I mean, it had to follow that cage match. I felt a bit sorry for him because we were still talking about that cage match. We were still talking about that Invasion announcement. We had a couple of big moments, and then we went to this match. This match, I don't think, got that much time. Ethan picked up the victory. It was good. I don't really have much more to add than that. But afterwards, Wagner Jr. appeared, and he said he's got his eyes on Ethan's title. So it feels like we're going to do Dr. Wagner Jr. against Ethan. Not sure where, not sure when, but it's definitely on the way. Miles Bourne said he is ready to take the lead and defend the NXT house. So Miles Bourne is ready to be a part of that Invasion team. Mike Santana said he is going to storm the NXT doors on Tuesday. I'm not sure why he announced it, because obviously Ava will have seen that and Shawn Michaels will have seen that, but I think they just want you to know that on Tuesday it's going to be quite exciting. So tune in to NXT. We're going to have TNA talent coming in again, getting involved, and Mike Santana making sure we know he will be there. Then we got to our women's title match, and actually there was large parts of this that I did enjoy. You lot scored this great 62, so you said it wasn't quite the level of the cage match. You still preferred the cage match, but this wasn't too far away. And so Fallon Henley was kicked out, removed from ringside. At ringside was Lola's dad, her sister. But unfortunately, this masked person, this hooded person, this covered up person would get involved. They would attack Lola. Towards the end of the match, Jacy would secure the victory. 1, 2, 3. Jacy Jayne retains the NXT Women's Championship. So, yes, we never found out the identity of that person. I'm sure we will make some progress with that on Tuesday. Lash Legend against Jaida Parker. That has also been made for Tuesday. So that's a match we got coming up. And also on Tuesday, Ava and Santino are going to choose their teams for Invasion. So they're going to select who they want on their teams. So honestly, NXT on Tuesday looks like it's going to cook. Oba Femi at the start of our main event was mocking Ricky Saints over his signature pose. This match is interesting because I sort of found myself struggling a little bit with it. I don't know why. It just never seemed to really grab me. It definitely was fine. I'm not saying it was bad, but I don't know that it was as good as the women's match. And I certainly don't think it was better than the cage match. I still think most people would say the cage match was the highlight of the show. But either way, we got a monster moment at the very end. And that was Ricky Saints securing the victory. Ricky Saints beats Oba Femi to become the new NXT champion, so big. Logan's B, thank you, my friend. Here, look, we've got footage of what was being sold. I do love the merch areas. You can see there, we've got like a Jaida Parker shirt. We've got some NXT caps. We've got Lola Vice. We've got a NXT championship belt. We've got a No Mercy t-shirt. There's Tiffany and Sol Ruca. What I always look for are those signed prints. They normally have these prints that where all the wrestlers have like signed them. So the bar is over there. I don't think they've got one here though, to be honest. Doesn't look like they're selling one at this show. You can see it unless there's one over there. No. Normally they would have like the poster, and where all the wrestlers are on the poster, they will get the wrestlers to kind of sign, and they'll do about, I don't know, 50 of those or something, and then they'll sell them for like $100 each. But you do get like 20 signatures on them. I got a couple actually when I've been over to America. I think they're great. I think they're really, really special. I'm sure they probably did them. Perhaps they were on the counter or something like that. But that's what I would have been looking for. I would have been looking for that. But there we are inside the arena. This is Wrestle WSCO. Don't know. They were in attendance. And so you can kind of just get a bit of a vibe of... Oh, there we go. Wrestling News CO. Very good. Right, here is Ricky backstage with Shawn.
WWE ID training schools are a priority for our WWE scouts.
Ricky just looks confused, doesn't he? I can hear Shawn saying, congratulations, just enjoy this. And Ricky's like, I don't know, is it a haze, a daze? He's in a wrestling daze. As well, we had Halloween Havoc announced. That's going to be on Saturday, October 25th. It is 3:30 Mountain Time, which I think is like 7 hours difference to the UK. So I'm guessing that's like 10:30 UK time. So it's going to be a little bit different time-wise, like starting time. So I don't know. We'll worry about that when we get closer to it. So take a 1990. Thank you. Someone said, I bet that Lainey Reed is not really injured. I bet actually she's faking. And she was the one that attacked Lola Vice. And Lainey Reed just attached this. Right? Lainey Reed just put this out there. So this is Lainey Reed sort of suggesting that that is her foot and that it is swollen and it's like a broken ankle type situation or a sprained ankle type situation. So that is Lainey Reed apparently.
Good day.
I mean, I don't know that that's Lainey Reed's foot. She might have found some footage of anyone that's got a broken / sprained ankle. And she could just be using that footage to make us think that it's her. Or it could legitimately be her. And she could legitimately be injured. It does then raise the question, who was that person that attacked Lola? Could it still have been Lainey, even with her foot like that? Don't know. Hopefully we get some more answers on Tuesday. So, Johnny, thank you. Here's Bayley, Ricky. Oh, we know that Bayley is a great friend of Ricky. You know that Bayley is going to have loved this moment. Here's WWE saying he did it, he did it, he did it. Ricky Saints is the new NXT champ. Here we got Cody as well. Champ Rick. Kind of feel like he could have sent something a bit more like congratulations, but whatever. Because they're obviously very good friends. So Cody Rhodes reacts to Ricky Saints. Lainey Reed said, not a matter of if, but when. Don't get comfortable, sweet cheeks. So that's Lainey Reed sending a message to Sol Ruca. Like, it's not if, it's just when our paths are gonna cross. And there is Lola. She is absolutely heartbroken. Lola Vice, heartbroken. And understandably so, to be honest, because there was quite the build, actually, towards her getting that match. And we saw, like, a video package, and her dad was there, and her sister was there. So for her to be cheated in that moment, I can understand the heartbreak. Right, AAA did a show. I don't think it was like a special show or anything, but Dominik was there. It was in Mexico. El Grande was competing. But here's Dirty Dom. There's a picture of Dom in the crowds. Dom was flipping the bird as he was making his way down. I think he was jumping onto commentary. So Dominik flipping off the crowds in Mexico. Edward, thank you. Here's Nikki. So Nikki Cross just with a slightly new look. I mean, I'm not sure that this is like a new Abby the Witch kind of look, or whether this is just more her kind of personal vibe. It does have the face paint on though, doesn't it? I don't think we've seen Nikki in black or with these kind of boots. So I don't know. Are we seeing the look evolve? Are we maybe reading a bit too much into it? Don't know. I thought it was interesting. It's on her official account, and it is, she's got the face paint on as well. So I sort of feel like it's in character, but whether this actually makes it onto the show, I don't know. But there we go. A slightly different look there for Nikki. Right, we know that Kalani is the new champ, the new TNA Knockouts champ. She's going to be taking on Indy Hartwell at Bound for Glory. I'm really interested in doing this show. I believe it's on a Sunday, which means we should be free to watch it. And actually, there's some great stuff like Javon versus Leon Slater, Kalani versus Indy Hartwell. I think there's some really good stuff on that. So, yeah, very good. Okay, Edward again, thank you. So here, Asuka's got a message for EO. She said, I told you a million times, stay away from snakes like Rhea, but you are a complete dummy. You can't tell who's real and who's fake. Well, it's too late now. You're going to be a puppet your whole life. It's sad. We were together. I could have saved you. But whatever, it's too late now. You dummy. You're such a dummy. I saw you crying. Girl, you betrayed me. Don't play the victim. I'm the victim. It's poor Asuka. You're a traitor. You lost to Stephanie. I told you me and Kyrie would help you become champion, but you said no. That's why you lost. You're such a loser. So very compassionate words there from Asuka in her latest video. I am enjoying what she's doing at the moment. I think it's really good. Johnny, thank you. Here's Nico saying all they ever do is tease us. So there's Randy just constantly looking at this flipping belt at various different times. But that was the latest one. So I don't know. Are we going to move on this now? Are we going to actually progress this now? Are we going to actually get Cody Randy soon? Or is it just another flipping tease? Okay, here's an insane stat, said Sam. Charlie, thank you. Sami Zayn has defended his US Championship more times in 29 days, he's done it 4 times, than Logan Paul in his 272-day reign. In 272 days, Logan defended the belt 3 times. Sami defended it 4 times in 29 days. That is an insane stat. Right, let's go fun. See what we got in here. So that was during the cage match. Jordynne Grace said, delete this. New meme unlocked. So there's Jordynne Grace upside down in a trash can, legs sticking out. New meme unlocked. Bayley, thank you. So here's Shawn Michaels. Got to take the sound off. So I don't know if this is like a TikTok trend or something, but here we've got people clapping and cheering him on. There was Sol Ruca. There is the young OG. Here's Lola coming in with some moves. But here we go. HBK getting in there right at the end. So very good. I can only imagine that's like a TikTok trend. I don't really go on TikTok much. So very good. Johnny, again, thank you. Eat, sleep, vacation, repeat. I mean, you probably could change vacation for other words, but yes, okay. Eat, sleep, botch, repeat. Okay. Eat, sleep, look at the belt, repeat. It's very good, isn't it? Certainly considering what we just looked at. Right, yeah, I don't get this. I don't remember this, but what's he doing? Jay randomly smelling Becky's hair. Why did he do? I don't even know what was going on here. I remember this time period, but I don't remember seeing him grabbing Becky's hair and giving it a sniff. Don't know how I feel about it, but there we go. Yeah, we've all got our kinks. Here's Matt Cardona, right? He was in a car. Obviously, he's TNA. Here he is in an Uber going the wrong direction in a road. This Uber driver got completely mixed up and they started driving towards oncoming traffic. And Matt Cardona was like, I think you need to turn around, buddy. I think we need to be going the other direction. And this guy was all kinds of mixed up and messed up and yeah, crazy. So look at that. He is driving straight into oncoming traffic. He is going the wrong way. I mean, it's funny because thankfully everyone's going quite slow and there's no accidents, but oh my God. Other side, jackass. Uber driver drives the wrong way, says Matt Cardona. So, Mitchell, thank you. And this is the last thing we've got from Johnny. He said, I got it all right. Thank you for your educational streams. So this is apparently what English people call certain things compared to, I don't know, America or the rest of the world. Let's see how many you guys can get right. And I will let you know if there's any in here that I've never heard of or if they seem incorrect or something, right?
Can WWE superstars survive UK English?
Sidewalk in the UK is called pavement?
Pavement.
Walker's Lane.
Footpad?
Walker's Lane.
Pavement.
In the UK, people don't stand in line, they stand in a, is it a queue?
I think it's cute.
Q. Q.
Q.
Silverware in the UK is called cutlery.
Cutlery.
Cutlery?
Cutlery.
Cutlery.
So a trash can in the UK is called a
Bin.
It's a bin.
Bin.
I'm going to say bin.
Bin.
Waste borrow.
Let's say a bin. Let's just say a bin.
A bin, I'm gonna guess.
French fries in the UK are called chips. I know that for sure.
Called chips.
Chips.
Chips?
Chips.
Chips.
Chips. I know that one. Fish and chips.
Chips in the UK are called crisps.
Crisp.
Crisps.
Crunchy.
Crisps.
All right. I hope I got those right.
That was kind of funny because that last one, chips in the UK are called, and I was like, well, chips in the UK are called chips. But they meant crisps, didn't they? In America, you guys call your crisps chips. So, yeah. The last one actually confused me because it was like, in the UK, chips are called, and I was like, well, chips are called chips. Chips aren't called, chips are chips. Oh, I'm getting myself confused. That last one messed with my head. So there we go. Yes, they all looked correct. They all looked nothing suspicious there. Okay, let's go community. Oh, just the one, actually. Lenny said, I got to work another 90s wrestling con. I helped out build them on and got pictures with Bull Buchanan and Steve Blackman and Scotty Riggs and Spellbinder and Chavo Guerrero and Tatanka and Dawn Marie. So look at all these pictures. Lenny working at a 90s wrestling convention and getting to meet loads of legends. So I do love that Tatanka one at the bottom. Very, very cool. That's right in my, that's hitting me right in the nostalgia. So yeah, very, very cool. So love all of that, Lenny. So shout out to you, my friends. Very, very good. Right, we've reached the end. We have finished our journey. So let's work our way down and say thanks and get out of here. So ARC Gaming 1984, the Elite Pro Wrestling Forum, Edwards, Wrestling Void, Huddle Talk, Edwards, All Game 17, Fly Music, Chanel, Armando, He Who Smiles, ×2. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for enjoying this video series. Of course, we will be back, I would imagine, again tomorrow or later today at the time of watching this, Sunday. Really depends kind of what goes down and what is said, and if there is enough for a video. Yeah, I'd imagine there is, but if not, I will see you on Monday for Raw, and we will definitely be doing a Talking Points video for Raw, and we will definitely have another episode of Unseen. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.